what you need tonight. A little something to whet your appetite, and it's gonna make you feel alright. Sweet Gravy and Carmen Kirk, check them out as they go to work. Congratulations on your new podcast. Now open up a can of whoop ass and blast, blast, blast. This is Angelo, and I hope you like this show. Wow. Yeah.
Ooh, Carmen, welcome back to another episode of Sweet Gravy. Thank you for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. I live here. I'm always here.
We're always here. Well, I mean, we just got home right now together.
Yeah.
You like that we get home at about the same time now?
I like working the schedule where we have some time together at night, at least to eat dinner together, because I feel like our schedules mix up so much, whether I'm working mornings or if I switch a job or anything, sometimes my schedule switches. So it's nice to have some consistency. I'll say that.
What I find, we clash a lot on our entertainment choosings.
Yeah.
Now, I recently, Limp Bizkit was at Lollapalooza this year.
Yeah.
Right. And Fred Durst, he dressed up like an old man. Like he's like wearing like a wig and like these like sunglasses, you know.
Yeah. You talked about that last night.
And I'm in love with this concert. Like, I love it. I love watching it. I think it's so goofy.
Yeah, but you were
It's
like,
so
why?
silly.
You were like, why would he dress up like an old man? And I'm like, maybe he promoting a movie or a single or something. I don't know.
You know, Fred Durst, he is a director. Some people say he's the director of our generation, probably the greatest. Fred Durst. His last movie was called The Fanatic. It has John Travolta in it, and everybody knows he still does good movies.
Yeah, I don't know who Fred Durst is.
He's the singer of Limp Bizkit. He's the
I
guy
know that, but I'm talking about movie-wise.
Well, I don't know if he's ever been in a movie, but he's directed movies. He directed The Long Shots, I believe it was, the Ice-T movie. No, Ice Cube. Sorry, the thing that goes into Ice-T.
Man, I want to direct a movie.
Maybe one day. And then Education of Charlie Banks, he directed also. I think that was his first.
So you see Fred Durst on there. He's dressed like an 80-year-old man.
He's dressed like an 80-year-old man, and I constantly bring up the Sounds of Science from the Beastie Boys because they did that. They dress up like old men, and then they're like playing basketball and stuff. You know, boo, boo,
But he's not a good old man during a concert.
No, but I think that because of the way he moves like a goofy dude,
like a young goofy dude, but he's dressed like an old man, so it kind of throws it off a little bit.
Yeah, I love it. I'm mesmerized by it. Like I can't stop. I sent a video of break stuff of that from that concert to my buddy Will, and we sat and texted about it for about like half an hour last night.
Yeah. Just
texting. Well, I mean, we text a lot through the night, you know.
Oh, shout out to Will. Not sure if he listened, but hi, Will.
Hey, Will. But yeah, it's I can't get enough of this Fred Durst. I'll probably watch it again tonight. Yeah, it's great.
No, not tonight.
Why not?
Because you're gonna make me watch it.
Yeah, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I hate it. You're making me hate it, because that's what happened with old David Byrne.
This is what happened with multiple things. Kirk, literally, something that could be really great, he'll play it out, and then he'll like follow me around the house with it, or he'll like wake me up in the morning with it, or like when we go to sleep at night, you'll play it, and then you get to a point where I don't like it, so you'll just start playing it and then at that point you turn a good thing into a bad thing.
Turn a good thing into a bad thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes,
now I hate them.
Yeah. You ever watched Reno 911?
I did.
You remember whenever the department got bought out by a wing store and then they had these like pink and white.
No, I never
outfits.
watched it that much. I
man.
only watched it a little bit. Like I caught it because it would come on TV, so I
Right.
would catch it here and there. But I never like was into it like Sons of Anarchy or anything.
Right. So you this wing place bought them uniforms, so they've got these like pink pants and then a white shirt, and they get free wings, and they eat all these wings like all the time. And then like towards the end of the episode, they're having some bowel problems because all they're eating is wings.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guys, the guy that wears his bulletproof vest all the time, he's like, they say too much of a good thing is not a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But when that thing that you're getting too much of wasn't that good to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, what do you call that?
Yeah. Oh, it's that little old gray area in the middle.
Right.
That's funny.
I love it. I love it. But yeah, this Fred Durst, mesmerizing.
That's funny. You say Fred Durst,
And I'm not even like a big like Limp Bizkit fan. I never had the CDs. I didn't like.
Kirk.
their
You
songs
seem
would-
like a big Limp Bizkit fan.
Their songs would come on the radio, and that's about all I know of it. You know.
It's funny because I wrote it on a paper, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna talk about this on a podcast, and then I wrote Limp Bizkit, LIMP Biscuit. So I don't think that's right, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
But biscuit is spelled BIZKUT.
Okay, that's not biscuit. That's their own made up way of saying it.
Right, but you spelled limp right.
Yeah.
Right. Why do you think that you didn't?
No, the Limp Biscuit, the whole word together. It's a whole word, right? It's not separate. Shouldn't it be a whole word if they're a whole group?
No, I think it's
2 words.
2 words.
No, when I looked it
I
up,
wanna
it was
say-
like LIMBIZCU. I don't think it's a P in there.
Yeah, there's a P.
Is it? Okay, I could be wrong.
Limp. That's where the sound.
I thought it was just like Limp Biscuit.
no,
like
not
that.
Limp. No,
without a P.
no, it is most certainly a limp biscuit.
Okay.
Most assuredly, it is.
Yeah, you're cute.
Yeah. Also into the entertainments, I've since you've been home this past year, I've been trying to watch The Sopranos.
Yeah,
I've
you've been soprano man out.
I never watched it before, and then a buddy of mine, he said, "Hey, would you please watch The Sopranos, so we could talk about it?" And I said, "Yeah, sure."
Who?
Corey.
That's good. I mean, I think that The Sopranos was a good show
It
for
was
its time. It was beyond its time for sure.
It was, in that HBO like glory days, whenever they were coming onto their own.
Yeah.
You know, like they had some shows beforehand, but that was like their like coming out that we make like decent entertainment. Oh, we can get into that also, but before that, so with Amazon Prime, right? If you have an HBO subscription through their channels service, you get a free, well, it's not free, but included, you get an HBO Max subscription. And they don't have the same stuff on HBO Max that they do on the Amazon HBO, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a little more, there's just less stuff in it whenever you are watching HBO through Amazon. But you do get access to the live channel. So I've been watching it. So whenever Amazon was really like trying to push their like streaming services, they had actually come to an agreement with HBO where their shows of that time where The Sopranos were included with Prime. The Sopranos, 6 Feet Under, the first few seasons of Curb, shows like that.
Mm-hmm.
They were included, and then as time went on, they took them off of the Prime, and then you have to get the HBO because they started doing the channels, and September 15th, huh?
I said, tell me.
September 15th. HBO Max. I got an email about this from Amazon.
Yeah, I never had the
Bezos, my man, he couldn't come to an agreement with the HBOs to keep HBO on the channels, right? So now on the 15th, September 15th, I've been watching The Sopranos for a year now. You know, I didn't binge it. You know, I watch an episode here.
Just
an
normally,
episode,
like it's there.
I watch an episode here, an episode there. I'm almost done with it. I'm getting ready because they're coming out with a movie that comes out in October, I believe, October 1st. It's a Friday, and you know, because HBO Max is releasing all the Warner Brothers movies, you know, directly through HBO Max as well as the theater at the same time this year. Now, I don't know if I can finish the series by the 15th, and now I'm gonna have to go through
the 15th of when?
September. This
Oh,
month,
you have to.
in a few days.
Oh, you must.
Yeah, and then we're gonna lose our HBO Max subscription.
But
and
see,
then I'm gonna have to
this
do it
the
all
thing.
again. I'm gonna have to remake my watch list. I'm gonna have to remake my watch list. I'm gonna.
Kirk, you stress out about these small, simple things that means nothing.
Yeah, but you can't even find a Power Volume 3.
But I can get The Sopranos
Okay.
online. I can go on Google and get The Sopranos. Right now, if The Sopranos come off and you need to watch the rest of the season, I got that for you. That's right on my site that I go to. Yeah, it takes a little bit of work, but I can do it.
Well, I'm not talking about, you know, getting the Sopranos with the hand waving, you know. When the Avengers movie came out,
I'm telling you,
first,
I got the connect. I can do it.
Whenever the first Avengers movie came out, I was on Catalina at the time, and a guy was watching it, and it was from a Chinese theater, and it had, you know, the calligraphy in the bottom, and we were just sitting there watching it. It was fuzzy, it was horrible, and then you see a hand go up, and it's like waving, and I was like, yeah, that's enough of
No, I'm not talking
that.
about
None of
that.
that. I don't want to see it. So I never actually watched the first Avengers movie.
Okay, well, can you do me a favor?
What?
Let me get you
No,
these episodes
absolutely
and shows.
not. No,
It's not gonna
because
be
it's too much of a hassle. You got to go through the websites, and no, it's too much of a hassle. I want to go. I want to go
it's
like
online.
this.
It's on Google.
Carmen, I don't care. I want to go like this, and then it's on. So I'm gonna have to get a new HBO Max, new password.
You like the convenience.
Yeah.
And that HBO Max provides that convenience for you.
I feel like so HBO Max, basically they said that they wanted to have a direct relationship with their subscribers, which makes sense. They can, you know, field their emails and stuff to the people as they want. It makes perfect sense, but then it's going to be another email, you know, because all these streaming services, they send you an email of, hey, you know, this is what you can watch this weekend. Ugh. So it's another email.
You know what my assessment of this whole situation is?
What is it?
You're not a super fan.
A super fan of what?
You're not a super fan of the content. If you want to, if you want to
But
watch The
there's
Sopranos, you need to be a super fan. If you're a super fan.
But there's a new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm happening in October. That's next month, Carmen.
Oh, we gotta watch that.
I know.
We can't miss that one.
It's ridiculous. And that's how they get you. You know, just whenever one show ends, HBO's really good at just when one show ends, another one picks up right then. Or like just like a little bit in between.
They cycle some out.
Perfect.
Yeah,
They're
it is
beautiful.
perfect. Yeah, and then I'm waiting on like more competition shows to come on. A bunch of my friends on the internet been talking about new shows that's coming on Netflix, and they were like, "Oh, Money Heist is coming back on," and everyone's like, "Can't wait to see Money Heist," and I was like, "I love that." And then my boy was like, "It's so good, you gotta watch it."
The new one? Yeah. Yeah, and it's going to be the last one. I think they're concluding it. Money
they
Heist.
need to.
Money Heist is a show on Netflix, and they gave it a real big push like right at the beginning of the pandemic.
It's really good.
And so like everybody watched like the first like 4 like series.
Yeah.
Like everybody did it. It was like the same time that Tiger King came out.
Yeah.
Which was like just perfect timing.
And
you know?
Tiger King caught so much fire that everybody
was
saw it.
watching.
Yeah, everybody watched.
They were like golden nuggets to that boy. Oh man.
But we definitely got to watch Money Heist and finish that off because I really like that one. Like me and Kirk are very. So Kirk says indecisive, far as our TV selections. I wouldn't say that's the only thing we're indecisive about.
Oh,
I
we
feel
can't
like
figure out where to go
we're
to
indecisive
eat.
in
We
everything.
can't figure out like if we're gonna
Where
go
to
out
move,
to eat.
where anything.
You know, we can't figure out. You know, nothing. Well,
Yeah.
I'm a guy who I don't want to make the decision, but when I do, it's right now, and the decision is made. Right? No.
No, I mean I don't disagree with
And
you, but I
you're-
feel like you. So Kirk is like this. Kirk will be like, okay. I'm like, so I want to take you out to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Or it'll be the opposite. It'll be Kirk will say, hey, I'm taking you out to dinner tonight. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then an hour later, he'll be like, where we going to dinner? What the fuck?
Well,
You're
I'm
supposed to come up.
Well, I'm taking you, so you should.
Okay, but at that point, I thought that you figured it out, and now he's like, okay, where you want to go? And I'm like,
Nah,
well,
I
I
don't
like
know. I don't
this,
know
so
where you wanna
we
eat.
should try this. He's like, I don't like that. And I'm like, I don't like that. And then now we in this whole thing of like, we don't know where to go. Now it's been taking us 2 hours to find
2
out what we're
hours.
eating
And then
for dinner.
by the time we get to where we're going, it's a 45-minute wait, and then you like to put your name on the list, even though you're not going to wait 45 minutes.
Just
And
in
then
case.
You're like, okay, let's go somewhere else and see how long their wait is.
Well, if you get 3 or 4 lists, get your name on 3 or 4 lists,
Mm-hmm.
then you don't got to worry about waiting for one. Whoever calls first, then you go there.
Yeah, but-
so you pick 4 places
But you're not
that you
near
like.
it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't think that far about it. I'm just like, put your name on a list. Fuck
Yeah.
it. If we stay, we stay. If we don't, we don't. Your situation, you'll be like, okay, we'll be driving up to restaurants. You're like, you want Popeyes? I'm like, oh, I don't know. And you're like, well, do you want this? Do you want this? And then like
Options.
we're just, you know what it is? I think that if you have less options, you're not as indecisive.
That's well, yeah.
The fact that we have a million options is why we're so indecisive.
I could see that. You know, it's like we went to Nosh the other day,
Oh, no.
right? And we hadn't been there for a while, right? Mm-hmm. Nosh, they had these beautiful burgers. They've got creative burgers. They
At
had
some point in time.
They had a burger that the bread was squares of mac and cheese.
Yeah. They did the
breaded.
mac and cheese burger.
Breaded, and you know that was the bread, and then there's a patty in the middle, and they had some sauce to it, and they
Yeah.
do these fries, and you can get the fries with salt or salt and
Different
pepper
seasonings,
and bacon,
like they had
and,
it's like a burger palooza.
yeah.
But then they also sold like the Danable things, the dipping. What they sold something like that.
They make in the house. They make Dunkaroos,
Dunkaroos, right?
homemade Dunkaroos, which are a cookie and then a thing of frosting,
Mm-hmm.
which you can actually get at the store now.
Yeah.
Right
Right
They
at
brought back
7-Eleven.
Dunkaroos. I can't believe it, but I remember Dunkaroos were the shape of a kangaroo,
Mm-hmm.
and then
They
you like
were.
dip it in. Now they're just like little circles.
Mm-hmm. But we used to go to that place, and we thought the food there was amazing.
We've been there 4 times.
I mean, we
we didn't
also
overindulge.
we brought multiple people that visited here
Yeah.
there, so it was a place that we looked at as a really good place to like. Let me take you here. You'll think this is
And
amazing.
nobody was satisfied. Anybody we took there, I think we were just kind of blinded by what it was, because nobody we took there was satisfied with it.
Yeah, but I don't think. But I think that's
We
because
took-
people don't know food though.
We took Ian there, and he was like, "My burger's cold," but he had like guac and
Yeah,
guac
he
and,
got the crunch burger. The crunch burger came with like tortilla chips and avocado. Avocado is not gonna be hot, so you got
Be
cold
hot.
avocado on a burger.
Right.
They tell you on the menu that avocado come on it. It's a avocado crunch burger.
Right.
Then he's like, my burger cold. Well, you ordered cold avocado. So I don't feel like that's us being unreasonable.
I know. I'm just saying, through what we've done, who we've taken there, nobody has been satisfied with it. Nobody liked it.
But I feel like the people we're bringing there are not experienced with the amount of food in restaurants that's here in Portland.
Yeah.
I think it's a
That's the
shock for
thing.
people that comes here for the first time.
You can come here and you can, for all 3 meals, you could
Eat something
out
different for
and eat
for
at a
2 weeks.
completely
You can
different
eat
place.
something
At
different.
least 2 weeks. Yeah.
At the very least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
So
that's overwhelming for some people. And then also, I feel like the average person especially, so I think when you say average, you have to get into age groups, because younger people, they like to go out more. They like to go out and have a good time and party with friends, go have drinks and try new things. But
How young? 20s? 25?
20s, 30s,
Our age.
our age.
We're young people still?
Yeah. I mean, if you compare that to like our parents' age, I think once you get into, and it's not for everybody, but just an average, I think once you get to the 40s, 50s, that age range, like people are not eating meals 3 times a day at restaurants. Not everyone. Some people are, but not everyone. Like my mom never goes to restaurants. So if we brought
I think
her,
it depends on who you are.
yeah, who
I-
you are.
I don't
I'm just
think
summing it up as a demographic.
I don't think it has anything to do with age, or it's just
Well, I'll go off
the
of what I
individual.
see in the city when I'm walking around.
Mm-hmm.
And at night in the city, when you see all these restaurants that's popping, you don't see older people.
they're
like
in the
that.
places that we can't afford.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why you don't see them.
Yeah.
Because they're in the places we can't get into.
And that's good, but typically that's good food. If you're going to a burger spot or a taco spot that's popping, like
Yeah.
you're gonna get quality that might
Right.
not. I don't know. It's
Can
just a weird thing.
can you see your dad dealing with going to Taco Escobar?
No, hell no.
Right. That you wouldn't want to go there in the first
That's
place.
the point that I'm
But-
making.
but
My
he
dad
might-
wouldn't be at Nosh either.
But he might want to go to DeMillo's.
no, he ain't that dried up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's dried up. He ain't that dried up.
Just
But
saying,
I
you
get
gotta
what you're saying.
you gotta
yeah.
look at where you're looking at, and
Yeah.
then like that's the type of people that they cater to.
Yeah, but a Nosh is more so, I think, catered towards. I mean, I've seen older people in there, but I think their demographic is probably younger.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, so it's one of those things, like, and especially if you're not used to going out for food, depending on how you grew up, where you grew up, you might not be used to going out. You might like to eat those home cooked meals.
Mm-hmm.
So you go out and you try a burger for the first time, then they put cold avocado on it, and that fucks your whole head up, because they just had Five Guys the other day, and that was amazing.
Right.
Or McDonald's. McDonald's don't got no cold avocado.
No,
So
they don't.
it's just yeah, we have so many options here, so I understand people not liking certain things. It's just too many different variations to pick from.
Mm-hmm.
But
But to get back to this HBO,
I'm sorry, I got crazy. I can't help it.
where did we go? Were we done with HBO?
So at HBO,
The HBO, we were talking about the classiness of it. Now it's got its own streaming service, HBO Max, and it's kind of nice. You know, it's got all the superhero DC stuff. You know, I'm more of a Marvel man myself, but the DC stuff is okay. I like it, but
I'm more of a PBS girl myself.
Babar, you like Babar, don't you?
No, I like Arthur.
Uh-huh.
But, okay.
But when we were growing up, HBO was like dirty. HBO was
Rated R.
was rated R. It
Even
had-
if it wasn't, it was still more on that adult
it
side.
had shows, it had shows about like Johns and like pimps
Prostitutes.
and prostitutes
Sex.
and sex. Real sex was on there.
Yeah.
Cat House about the brothel
I don't know.
in
Cat
Nevada.
House. Oh
Cat
no,
House
I
was
think I
good.
might have knew. I think I saw Cat House. Yeah.
And then because they had that old man Dennis, that old man, and he was creepy, hanging out with all those people at the employees of the brothel. Would you call them an employee? A woman that works at a brothel? Would you be like
A
"That's my
A prostitute.
employee?" Yeah, but like, if I own the place, is that like
Yeah,
my
she's an employee. Prostitutes are employees
or
too.
is she like a contractor?
If you work at a brothel, you're a prostitute and you're employed as a prostitute. Depending on the situation. Well, let me not speak about it because I don't really know this
Right, you
whole
don't know.
prostitution situation.
Right.
Do they get tipped like servers?
I kind of feel like the people, I don't know, but something
We need to go
happened-
investigate.
We
That's
need
what
to
it comes
investigate.
down to.
We need to investigate, but none of those shows, Taxi Cab Confessionals, none of those shows you can find anymore. HBO quietly
one
did
at
a-
a time just got
did away with them. You can't find them. You can't get them anywhere.
Real sex not on no more?
You can't get it. There
You
was
look for it?
I've looked for it. And there was a time whenever it would on there whenever it was HBO Go, I believe the app, the streaming service that they had beforehand.
Yeah.
Right, before HBO Max. Or maybe it was HBO Now. I think there was an HBO Go and HBO Now, and now it's the HBO to the max. You know? And they would like put in some of that stuff, and it would be like under the late night category. Now the late night category is like their Spawn animated show. You know, and that's it. Like, so they quietly got rid of all that stuff, and then they put their prestige stuff out. And it was towards the tail end of what was the dragon show? Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
It was towards the tail end of that. Whenever they just swiped it out.
But I mean, I think that's amazing that they are. I think it's really smart and amazing that they're kind of changing with the times, because right now it's no need to have sexual based shows on your site or on your platform. Right now, people can literally look up porn on their phones.
Just look it up on their phone.
Point? And then
why would somebody want to watch something like that whenever they can just be like, we were at the snug.
And the Me Too, don't get that fucked up. Like that Me Too situation, HBO with the real sex and all that stuff, that shit all falls under the cat house thing. That falls under all the Me Too. Like, they'd be canceled.
Yeah.
They'll be like having to pay a bunch of money for certain things. So I think they kind of moved.
They just kind of
accordingly, like with technology. I think that's what it is. They moved according to. I feel like they got some young people in the office that's like, hey, we got to start moving this direction. And I'm sure in a few years it'll move in a different direction, depending on how the culture moves.
Depending on how it goes. Yeah, we were at the snug, and the guy was talking. He's older than we are. He's in his 50s. He goes out a lot. And
boy, you crazy. You're gonna get beat up.
He was talking about, I can't remember who, some guy, this guy was younger than we were. He was talking about like the Girls Gone Wild videos, right? And he was like, who would ever buy anything like that? You know? Who would ever buy anything like that? He said, if I want to see boobies and girls going wild, I can just look it up on my phone. And this guy was like, yeah, but I mean, like those commercials that they would play, buy now, you know, get two, you know, get the Cancun weekend also.
It was so bad. It was, the TV was flooded with it. Like it was,
if you're watching
God.
Comedy Central,
Channel,
if you're watching Comedy Central after midnight, every other commercial is a Girls Gone Wild.
Like,
so, he was like, yeah, but, you know, those commercials were geared towards the guy that was, you know, he was, you know, getting ready for bed, eating a grilled cheese after he'd been drinking all night. You know, and then he'd be like, oh.
They had a demographic. And
right.
And the crazy part about it is people don't understand that there's a large demographic of people. Like right now, they talk about people who have these porn addictions. Like there've been little like documentaries about it. And
I think Terry Crews was one of those people.
He might have been. But these documentaries like of these people who are addicted to that type of shit. They're addicted. They're sitting at home looking at their computer all day. Or they're sitting at home. They don't have companionship. They're nerdy, or it might be whatever the situation is, and this is what they go after. All these shows, To Catch a Predator, and all these things are from these guys. That's what they're watching. They're all like, this was all geared towards them. I don't know if that was the objective in the beginning, but that's what it became. And that's where their money came from, is these lonely guys.
Right.
And yeah, because for me, I think it's trashy for a girl to be on TV just jumping up and down, shaking her tits. Like, girl, go get a fucking job. Like, I don't.
She probably worked really hard to get to where she is.
To take off your clothes and jump around for God.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
You know how many people?
Happening?
You know how many people probably got turned around? You know, it's not you.
So what's the equivalent of Girls Gone Wild right now?
I don't know.
You don't know what it is?
No.
In today's time, what's the equivalent of Girls Gone Wild?
What is it?
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Now they're on OnlyFans. They're showing their ass, but people are paying them individually for it. So it's not like a bunch of girls on a subscription or whatever. They're getting paid from their individual accounts to show content. It's literally the updated version of Girls Gone Wild. Which
apparently OnlyFans is next month is taking away the explicit content. Yeah. They said no mas. And now they're saying that the people that work so hard to get OnlyFans name out there are the people that OnlyFans is, doing away with now. It's the HBO Syndrome, right? Mm-hmm.
But that's why I said that HBO.
We're out there now. We're huge. We're OnlyFans, and there's some famous people. Eric Andre's got an OnlyFans. Cardi B's got an OnlyFans.
Well, OnlyFans are not supposed to be a site. OnlyFans is where you should go to see certain content from certain. Like, I think it's more of a celebrity thing.
Right.
Like, you go to see like the background life of certain celebrities, but they turned it into sex, and then people start paying all this money for it. It's literally the modern day Girls Gone Wild, except for right now they're trying to cancel it. So they're doing the same thing HBO doing. They're trying to go there like that's the Me Too will get everybody. So you got to be careful with that Me Too shit. Everybody getting got.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. Once it get to the point where like characters on Sesame Street is getting canceled, like you got to just pull
Who
it
did
back.
they cancel?
Who did they cancel? Bert and Ernie. I think they're gay. They canceled them, and then who else was it? Dr. Seuss got canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like when you start getting these different like cartoon characters and books and like that shit.
Well, I mean, with the Dr. Seuss, there are some like racial things that could be seen as unsensitive.
Yeah, but we loved it. I absolutely enjoyed it, and I never caught any of those things growing up. I never caught the racial stuff or
no, because you're a kid and you're innocent. It's the adult that looks at it and says, "Hey, this is right,"
But it's the adults canceling everything right now.
There's no 5-year-old boy that said, "This Dr. Seuss, I don't know if it's appropriate for me. I think it leaves a bad taste in my mouth."
Yeah.
This Dr. Seuss.
It's a little kid is like, I do like green eggs and ham. Sam I am.
Yeah,
Sam I am green eggs and ham. He's like, oh, that's a fucking that
a
rhyme.
Masterpiece.
This shit rhymes masterpiece. And why is the egg green? Anybody know? Why are the eggs green?
Because it sounds good.
Yeah.
Because it looks wacky on a page.
Are they goose eggs?
Yeah.
You got to get into that.
I don't know. There is I went to the Great Smoky Mountains one time, and there is a t-shirt shop, one of those like souvenir like t-shirt shops. They got 1 million t-shirts in there, and one of them was no, I will not. It had this Dr. Seuss character, but he had like these like bloodshot weed eyes, and he was like, no, I will not smoke in a boat with a goat.
Oh no.
And it was like this whole green eggs and ham thing.
Yeah.
And then he said and then at the end it said slammed I am.
That's super funny.
And I remember my buddy was looking at it. He was just like, slammed I am. I love it. It's funny.
Well, I think right now, let's get into some current topics.
Okay.
Some stuff that's going on today that we should talk about. Okay, so first I'll start off with the new abortion law in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So Texas has made this new abortion law, and we need to have hand claps before this or something, a little noise before it.
Okay.
So Texas has decided that
you want hand claps for
no, not hand claps, but like a little sound like bing, 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 like ready for the hot topics
for the abortion.
No,
laws?
Not that. That's just the first topic. Sorry. Okay, so Texas has decided that they are they just implemented. No, I don't like that. They decided that they have this new law where if you're 6 weeks pregnant, after 6 weeks, you cannot have an abortion. And the interesting thing about this is that how crazy they're going after these women for even thinking about having an abortion. So after 6 weeks, you're not allowed to have an abortion anywhere. Any doctor, any person that refers you, anybody who helps or aid or anything, they said they're going down to the driver. If the driver drive you to there,
If you took an Uber,
if you took anything, they're telling people like go out and catch these people. They putting a bounty on them. So I think it's a certain amount of money if you turn in somebody who's considering an abortion or trying to do it. You get a certain amount of money.
right.
That's fucking crazy. So you got these women after 6 weeks, you can't have an abortion no more.
That's right.
Why is Texas deciding to tell women what they? I mean, Texas has always been a state like that where they do their own thing. They have their own little system set up, and it's such a big state that has all this going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think about them just making that decision for women?
There's a lot of talk that you know, this whole thing is a lot of people say old white men are trying to control women's bodies because they're all politicians. Stereotypical politician is an old white man. So I mean, it's, and then there's the idea that a lot of it's just control, you know, like, and you shouldn't. So, you know, watching The Sopranos.
Oh my God, back to The Sopranos.
The other day, right? Tony, he's in the hospital, and you were in the room whenever that was on. He's in the hospital, and a priest comes in, and he's like, "Let me pray for you," and it's like, okay, but there's another guy there, and he's holding like a womb is, it says womb is God on the sign. He's trying to get a doctor who wouldn't prescribe. It was a pharmacist that wouldn't fill a prescription for birth control. So then they fired him, and so he was protesting to get the guy his job back, right? And Tony was talking to the priest, and he was like, wait, so what's going on? And then he's like, what if I need, because he just had surgery, he's like, what if I need like Viagra, you know, in the future, because, you know, I just got the surgery. So, and he's like, what if somebody says that that I need, you know, the Viagra, but then like your church people start saying that that's bad. I can't have that anymore. And the guy's like, that'll never happen. And it probably won't, you know?
Yeah, but for whatever reason, when it comes to women and their bodies, everybody got a fucking opinion about it. I don't feel like men should have the say so when it comes to women's bodies. That's what it comes down, and that's what everyone thinks is kind of like, not everyone, but definitely women. Like, how are you telling me that I gotta carry a child full term? And do you think it feel good to come out? So you're making me go through that pain? If you make the decision yourself and you make a mistake, that's your fault. I understand that, but like, if you get raped up or anything like that, or anything bad happened to you, I just feel like it shouldn't be any control when it comes to women, as far as having kids or anything.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
but then it's a catch-22, because I feel like the majority of women are not out here doing shady stuff when it comes to childbirth. But there is a small percentage of women who do little shady stuff when it comes to having kids, like carrying your baby 6 months and then having an abortion. Right. Especially in our parents' time. That was allowed. Women did that all the time. They carry a child 5-6 months and have it. That's a whole child. I don't agree with that either. But where's the happy medium? Right. Because you can't go extreme to one point or the other because it's too much gray area. So like, what's the solution? I don't know. I guess what Texas is doing is kind of the solution. Individual state. If you don't like how they feel,
you go somewhere else.
Who don't have that rule. If they did it all over the United States, then that's one thing. But it's only Texas that's having it. Just go somewhere else and and do what you need to do.
Because then you get into the idea that people are, you know, stuck there. You know, like you can't. Not every people. You and I think differently than other people. Like.
We are also in a better circumstance than a lot of people.
The idea of people, you know, moving somewhere is huge. You and I moved here with not that much. You know,
with bags on our back.
Right.
And we just made it work. We built a life here with
right.
bags on our back.
So I mean that idea, the people don't even consider.
Right.
You know, like it's like I just need to get out of here. They don't think that like that.
But the solution is, what do you think happens when you ban something? People find ways.
People
to do
find
it
ways
anyway.
to do it. Yeah.
All right. So
exactly.
now you're gonna have a whole nother problem on your hand, because if women don't want to have a child and you're forcing them to, they're gonna figure out another way to do it.
Yeah.
And then it might not be the safest way. Then that goes to the hospitals being filled up. It just creates a whole nother issue, because you can't tell people what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You can try to, but you can't tell people what to do. They're gonna do what they want to do anyway.
Right. It's true.
Okay. And the next thing, so we, Angelina and Brad Pitt are all in the news right now.
Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, they're in the news.
Even though they're not even together anymore.
No, they broke up.
A while ago.
It's helped both of their careers amazingly.
That they broke up?
Sure.
Well, right now she's bringing up the whole Harvey Weinstein thing about Brad worked with him after he knew that she had a problem with him, and he still supported it. But then a lot of people are saying, well, Brad was actually the person that made the documentary that condemned Harvey Weinstein. He was half of the person that made the documentary. So he was one of the people that took him down. So they're like, well, he righted his wrong afterwards. He might have messed up before that, but he righted his wrong.
Right.
It's like, I don't know.
You know, the thing with the Harvey Weinstein, right? Like, you hear interviews and stuff about how many stories were out there and how it was widely known that he was like doing things like he was doing, you know. And people kind of just, this is a powerful man in show business, right?
He's so unattractive. It's like, that's so fucked up to, like, if you're a nice looking man, like, people can be a little more understanding, but when you're a gross ass slob and you're forcing women to be with your beautiful women too, to deal with your disgusting ass, like, that's the extra rude part about it.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
So I was watching my show TGIF, and they was like, first off, they don't know if it's just her and Brad like going through this whole custody dispute, and that's why all this
because
stuff is
they're
coming
going
out.
through their divorce, and you know, I think. Go ahead.
They said at the end of the day, Angelina, Brad don't want no 6 damn kids.
No.
He's like, I don't know, no man. Now, I've never met one man that wants 6 goddamn kids to take care of full time. So I'm pretty sure you got that. So just to like go about it a different way.
When I was a kid, I had this pillowcase, and on the pillowcase it had like all these like children on it, and it was like these children were standing on the world. You know?
Yeah, I know. I remember the
And
image.
they were all like holding hands, but
Yeah, I
were,
remember the image.
They were different races of children.
Yeah, that's a popular image.
And that was Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's
Legit.
children.
That was literally them.
like on there. And
Yeah, they got a mix of kids.
so do you think that you think Brad Pitt ever like sits there and he's like, you know, Angelina Jolie, I just went, you know, spent all this time with her, met her on the, you know, the Mr. and Mrs. Smith movie, and broke up with my then wife Jennifer Aniston.
That's why people don't feel bad for her. You stole somebody's husband, and you want people to feel bad for you because of Harvey. And look what you was out here. That's what people say. They're like, "Oh, you didn't feel bad for Jennifer Aniston. Now you want people to feel bad for you."
And you know, Angelina Jolie was like carrying like a vial of blood that was
From Billy
Bob Thornton's
yeah.
blood back then, and like she's a crazy lady. She was crazy. Remember when John Voight was like, "Somebody help my daughter." Like,
I know that's.
and she was like, "Something's wrong with my daughter. Somebody help her." And he was like pleading with America to help.
You just
his
only
daughter.
see what's on TV. You don't see anything besides that.
Right.
So it's an interesting thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't know what these people do behind their doors.
Yeah. So it's been a bunch of stuff going on. Well, it's always stuff going on in social media. I think I've heard some things about new versus battles coming up, about the next couple people that should be doing verses. Everybody want Eminem to do one, but they don't see anybody he can be compared to.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he'll do one. And then what else? Let me see. I was watching a Breakfast Club. Oh, we didn't talk about Michael K. Williams passing away.
Yeah.
So they've been talking about that. So Michael K. Williams, he is from The Wire, and he was also in more recently, what is it called?
Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft. I've never seen Lovecraft Country.
Well, you don't need to. They didn't renew it for a new season, so I mean,
Oh shit.
it's only one season. But I mean, it concludes. Some of it's gross, though. You know,
Gross like what?
it's gross. Some of the things that they do, ugh, you look at it and you're like, wow, that's gross.
Like
Because it's like a
killing?
horror show.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Well, it has like horror elements on it.
Well, they said he needed therapy after that.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah, and then so we both collectively stopped watching Bad Friends.
Yes, Bad Friends.
Bad Friends.
podcast.
Bobby Lee and
Yeah.
Andrew Santino, y'all
Andrew
fucking
Santino,
canceled.
Bobby Lee, yeah. You know, so I was working at a hotel. I've talked about this before. Working at a hotel by myself at night, and I would listen to podcasts. And it was right around the time that Bad Friends had started, and it was cool. You know, the dynamic between the two dudes. But then it's like then they did a whole episode where they talk about a movie that they just like think of a story, you know.
They put themselves in the
They
story.
put themselves in the story, and then it was like a little like, how would we make a movie about us? And this is what it was, and it was not good. It was like I didn't laugh, and I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, just kind of.
It's one of those podcasts that fizzled out.
Unsubscribe to that because I keep getting them pop-ups, but that algorithm on the YouTubes keeps showing them to me.
Mm-hmm. And then we also, who else? Donnell Rollins stopped doing his podcast too.
Yeah, we talked about that. We beat Donnell Rollins. He quit in April, and
But he's still so funny, and he still posts stuff, and like
Yeah.
he's just hilarious. He never needed to do a podcast.
right.
I think he only did it because people were forcing him to.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is that it? You good?
yeah.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to another episode of Sweet Gravy. If you have any questions or suggestions, please go to sweetgravypod@gmail.com and check us out on every streaming service plus YouTube.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye-bye.